Hello everyone, Jenny Carr here again for the last video series, How to Travel and Maintain Anti-Inflammatory Eating so you can feel good and still enjoy yourself. We've talked about how to go out to eat in video series 1. We talked about how to go grocery shopping and have a meal ready to go without any preparation or cooking in video series 1. We also talked about how to determine if it's just like a time to enjoy foods that may not be the best for your body, and when to really stick to the anti-inflammatory eating. In series 2, my assistant, my daughter, Chloe, showed up to advocate for some of the food swaps that I gave you. A lot of different ideas for traveling, simple foods that you can bring with you. The truth be told is that these foods are great to bring to the office. They're great to bring when traveling to your kids' soccer games or extracurricular activities. They're great to take hiking, camping, a day out on the boat, you name it. They're just really easy foods to grab that either kind of helps subside any sort of sweet tooth or give you more protein, which can be tricky to get that clean protein when you are on the road. In video series 3 today, I want to touch base on the last component, which I believe I mentioned in the last video, which is when you're traveling, finding an accommodation that is best suited for you can be really helpful. When I travel with my family, I almost always get a VRBO unless it's like a quick weekend trip. If we're gone for the week, we'll rent a house someplace that has a kitchen that we can cook. I just find that it's cheaper, it's easier, especially as you saw, I have a little girl and an 8-year-old son, and so going out to eat is fun occasionally, but every night it can actually be more exhausting than fun with kids. So having a kitchen where you can make most of your foods and then go out to eat here and there, I find to be really beneficial and actually save money. If you prefer to be in a hotel, or if you're gone for maybe a shorter period of time, it doesn't make sense to get a VRBO. Always just make sure I find a hotel that at least has a microwave and a small refrigerator where I can keep foods. I like to bring either spicy turkey sausage patties, which can be found, it's in the recipes section in the back of my book, muffin tin meatballs, or protein pancakes. All of those are either a meat, or the pancakes kind of weird sounding, but it's almost like rubbery, like crepe-like. And so they travel really well. And so often I'll put those in this bag as well, and I'll pack more than I need for the day, just so I have some sort of clean source of protein with me while I'm on vacation. Just makes it easier. I feel better. I find for myself eating clean protein every few hours makes a really big difference. And that is, I think, one of the more challenging things to find when you go out to eat, right, is a clean source of protein. Okay, so that is a recap on what we've talked about so far. And during this this last video, what I really want to talk about is what happens if you fall off the wagon, right? So at the very beginning of this video series, we discussed the different kind of categories of people who may adopt anti-inflammatory eating. Category 1, you're in it to be proactive, to feel really vibrant, to have great energy, up your athletic performance, and to kind of make sure funky ailments, conditions, and disease don't affect you in the future. Your body may not feel awful if you stop eating anti-inflammatory for a little while. Likely you don't feel amazing, but it's not debilitating. And so for you, you may choose that you want to indulge more on vacation or on your travels. And then there's other people that fall more into the category that I do, where really we follow an anti-inflammatory diet and eating because it is medicine. Food is medicine, and it makes a really big difference. If we don't, those chronic symptoms really show up, and that could be bloating or stomach digestive issues where you need to use the restroom a bunch, and that's no fun when you're traveling. Or where, if you have Lyme or parasites or some sort of funky bacterial or virus condition, that it knocks you down and you have to just be in bed, which is definitely no fun when you're traveling. So of course, inflammation shows up into each person uniquely and differently. So however that may show up to you, it's not something you want to experience while you're traveling. And that is one of the main reasons that you maintain anti-inflammatory eating, while you're on the road. But there are times that we still fall off, right? That either we had the best intention and something in a restaurant was given to you that wasn't supposed to, and you just feel really crappy, or willpower gets the best of you, or you just want to really enjoy that joy eat and you decide to go for it and you don't feel well. The tricky part is the not feeling well and the stories that come with that. So often when we don't feel well, if we did something, and especially if we knew we were going to have it, right? If we made the conscious decision like, ooh, I want to have this, cotton candy at the local fair. I know I shouldn't have it, but it tastes good and I don't know what to do. And it's like this, back and forth, and you finally give into it. You have that and you feel like crap the next morning. And you start telling yourself, oh, I feel terrible. I'm never going to be able to maintain anti-inflammatory eating. It's just not for me. I'm going to feel bad the rest of my life. I will never be able to lose weight. I'm always going to experience these symptoms, whatever it is. And then when we're telling ourselves that, it evokes this emotion that makes us feel terrible, right? The thought creates an emotion, and the emotion is not a fun one. And that negative emotion, whatever it may be, of feeling the failure, right, of any sort of negativity, often that triggers us into a certain response, a behavioral response or action. And typically what that is, well, forget it. If I've already messed up and I already feel bad, I want to eat something to make me feel better right now. And that eating something is typically like some chocolate or ice cream or some sort of comfort food that is inflammatory, that just compounds the problem. You physically feel worse. You already are telling yourself you can't do it. You're proving to yourself you can't do it by telling yourself that, and then reaching for the chocolate or ice cream or pizza or whatever it may be, right, to comfort yourself in that moment. And then the story begins again. Oh, see, here's just one more example of how I can't stay on the anti-inflammatory eating train. One more example to prove that I'm a failure, that I'm not cut up for this, that I'm always going to be sick, that I'm always going to be overweight, whatever it may be. So it's this thinking more so than the actual eating of the food that causes so much harm to what we do and to our body and to our ability to hop back on the clean eating train. If instead you make a conscious decision to eat something or drink something that's inflammatory, enjoy it. Make sure it's really good. Make sure it's so worthy of you, right? Like the best, delicious, most organic wine you can find, or some sort of gourmet dark chocolate that's just off the charts, and enjoy every moment of it. Never once saying, I should be doing something different. Instead, enjoy it. And say, I likely won't feel amazing. That's okay. I know that that's what happens. And I'm also know exactly what I need to do to hop back on the clean eating train. If you've read my book, you know that drinking a lot of water, eating some clean protein every couple hours, making sure you have other clean treats ready for you, and being a renegade researcher, really reading the ingredients labels so you don't have processed sugar and by default many of the other top inflammatory foods, will make a world of difference. And we're human. It's okay if we fall off the wagon sometimes. It's not falling off the wagon that causes the harm. It's the thinking and stories that we create, which oftentimes stop us, paralyze us even, from getting back on the wagon. So whatever you choose to do, listen to your body, listen to your heart, and know that if you do fall off consciously or unconsciously, you have the steps to hop right back on. And you don't need to wait until Aunt Sally gets married or your neighbor's potluck happens. Start right here, right now. If you haven't read my book, do that. It'll give you so many great tips that are easy and practical to make happen. And you can do this, right? You can do it starting right here, right now. Drink a bunch of water, grab yourself some protein, and hop back on that clean eating train so that you feel vibrant and healthy. If you need some help, if you're like, oh, I just need some accountability, I need some more ideas, I'm not sure how to make this all applicable to my life and my situation, I do work with a very small handful of clients each month. And if we are a right fit, if I determine that I can help you and I like your energy and you like mine, then that may be an option for us to work together as well. And you can find out more about that in the next email or the next form that pops up. You can schedule a call with me. But most importantly, I want you to know that all of this is doable. There are so many awesome food swaps that you can bring with you and take with you when you're going out to eat, that you can totally go on vacation and travel, whether it be for work or for pleasure, and maintain anti-inflammatory eating. So you can do the zip lines and go snorkeling, lie on the beach, do whatever you want to really enjoy yourself and feel really good. So I love you all. I'm so grateful that you're here, that you've been here with this video series, and I look forward to hearing from you how this worked. So find me on Facebook at Jenny Carr or Jenny Carr Health, and always feel free to email me, Jenny at JennyCarr, CARRhealth.com. I love to hear your stories. I love to hear how you're able to apply this and help yourself feel better. Have a great day and be the change you wish to see in the world.